Hello and welcome to everyone joining in today for our plastic event. I think it's time to start. It's a good time, I would say. So this is an event that ADN is taking part in, collaborating with DSS Odisha, Youth for Water and Water Initiative India, and we're very, very excited about this event. The event will focus on localized impact of microplastics on youth health and environmental injustice. And we're really excited to have you here because we'll take a really deep dive into microplastics, particularly how they're impacting you and your country. So please do follow along, and we're very excited about it. I want to quickly introduce our speakers very briefly. So I am Julia Christiana. I'll be chairing this webinar today. I am one of the founders at the Sustainable Leadership Forum. And at ADN, I lead the plastic initiatives. So I look into a lot of the research around plastic policy and microplastics. And I like to particularly highlight the economic and legislative challenges, but also the health issues around microplastics. And today we also have with us amazing speakers. So Mr. Ranjan Panda, he's a globally recognized expert of water governance and climate and environment with over 30 years of experience in shaping policy and grassroots action. And he also convenes Water Initiative India and Youth for Water. And we also have today Miss Sita Mohapatra, and she is a leading voice in sustainability and green entrepreneurship. She's a driving force behind Youth for Water, and she's also a co-founder of the Climate Warrior Network and the founder of eco-venture Gift Crop.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you.
Just quickly to give you the structure of today's meeting. So we are going to have a very brief housekeeping in a few moments, and then we'll be doing a first session, which will explore microplastics and the recent research around that, and we'll look at how they are impacting you and your country. And then we'll have the localized efforts and solutions, which will be delivered by Mr. Panda and Ms. Mohapatra. And then we'll have questions and answers. So if you have any questions throughout, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll get to them right at the end. So we're very excited. I'll pass on quickly to one of our ADN members to give you a brief housekeeping and introduction to ADN. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Gillian. Okay, esteemed colleagues, thank you for joining us today. This session is part of the Avoidable Death Network Global Campaign Month, International Awareness Day for Avoidable Deaths, IAD for AD. So on behalf of the ADN team, I would like to thank the host for organizing this event. My name is Abdullahi Umar, Global Campaign Coordinator for ADN. So a bit of the housekeeping rules. Please ensure that your microphone remains muted during the entire session. If you have a question or comment, please type it into the chat box. Please be advised that this session will be recorded and made publicly available online. Additionally, a group photo will be taken if you do not wish to appear in the recording or photograph. Kindly turn off your camera. There will be a pre-poll and a post-poll. So each section of the session will be timed. So I pass it on to Lauren for the group photograph and the pre-poll. Thank you.
Okay, if everyone would like to turn on their camera, we can take a group photo. If you don't wish to be in a group photo, just keep your camera off.
We would love to have you, but no pressure, of course, if you want to be part of the group photo for this event.
Okay, just take one more.
We have to show our photo or what?
If you are willing to be in the group photo, if you just turn on your camera.
Okay.
If not, just keep the camera off.
Okay. doing.
That's great. We'll now resume with Abdullahi's presentation. Actually, first the poll. I'll just run the poll now.
So we're just going to ask you a very brief question. This is not to test you, it's anonymous, don't worry. We just want to know how much you know already about microplastics. Again, there is no pressure. And then we'll compare at the end just to see if you found this helpful, if you found this session helpful, and if you learned anything interesting. So please let us know how much you know about microplastics. I think the poll should be on your screen right now, so just let us know. We're very curious.
So we're aiming for about 80% participation rate. If you have got it on your screen, just so we can see 53% participation.
If you've not answered yet, feel free to just answer the poll. It'll be very brief. We'll get right into it in a moment.
Okay, so we're at 86% participation. We'll just end it now.
So thank you for everyone joining. As you can see, we have a mixed knowledge here. We have a good amount of people that actually have heard about microplastics a little bit, some that have never heard about microplastics. So I'm excited to share some information with you today, and our speakers are very excited to discuss this today with you. And we have varying levels of confidence. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. And I think we'll pass just right back onto the ADN slides, right?
Right, thank you, Julia. So, Lauren. So you're welcome once more. Like I rightly introduced earlier, my name is Abdullahi Umar, Global Campaign Coordinator. So on the 12th of March 2019, Professor Nebidita from the University of Leicester and her long-standing research partner, Dr. Hideyuki, launched the ADN, the fourth global summit, Global Alliance for Disaster Risk Reduction in Kyoto University in Japan. So an ADN is a global and local membership network of experts, practitioners, and researchers interested in avoiding human deaths from natural hazards, naturally triggered, technological and human-made hazards in low and middle-income countries. So we also work in high-income countries such as Japan and the UK. We have more than 1,000 members from about 94 countries. So next slide. So this is the banner for the International Awareness Day for Avoidable Death, usually celebrated all through the month of March. Next slide. So on the 13th March 2023, ADN launched the International Awareness Day for Avoidable Death in Japan in collaboration with the city of Izumitsu. So right at the top there is the mayor, and the event was chaired by the then national head of United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, Ms. Mami. So the global campaign is celebrated annually. So we invite you to celebrate this day and raise awareness of avoidable deaths in your cities, towns, and villages. It's a 10-year global campaign, and in the 11th year, the name will be dropped and becomes the International Day for Avoidable Death. Next slide. So what's the purpose of IAD for AD? A typo there is actually fourfold anyway. So the first one is to raise the visibility of disaster deaths, especially indirect disaster deaths and missing persons. To increase the visibility of the causes and circumstances that lead to disaster deaths so that context-specific intervention can be put in place to save lives. To also promote the slogan, disaster deaths are avoidable. They are avoidable through preventable measures, amenable, and risk governance measures. And the fourth one, to value the life saved and reflect on the achievement of saving lives. So next slide. Now, the theme for this year, just like that of the first year, is do one thing. Do one thing. It could be like we are currently having right now, webinar, could be training, capacity building, rallies, and a host of all others. And in year one, we had 30 activities that took place across 13 countries. And for this year, we currently have above 40 activities that are taking place across 20 countries. And this is the 28th, and like 3 more days to go. So the most important thing is that do one thing, just anything to help raise that awareness. Next slide. Then to celebrate this International Awareness Day for Avoidable Deaths, there are global messages and cultural assets to use. There are 13 key messages, and this is available on the guidance for campaigners. When you go to the website, you see all that, and to share to prospective campaigners as well. So there are graphics. Disaster deaths are available, like you see there, the green one. There's another one with a blue background that's meant to be used. And we also encourage that the hashtag avoidable deaths day be used throughout the course of the campaign. And there are also general dynamic toolkits to use for this particular campaign. Next slide. Like in the words of Dr. Manu Gupta, the co-founder of SID, that each life is a treasure. Each life that can be saved from a preventable disaster ought to be saved. It is our combined responsibility. Hence, it's our combined responsibility to join hands and help raise this particular awareness to reduce disaster deaths. And ADN is also signatory to the UNDRR voluntary commitment for the Sindai framework. And the Sindai framework target A and B is what we also look at. That's reducing global disaster mortality by 2030 and reducing the number of affected people globally. Which is also in line with SDG, that's the Sustainable Development Goals 3, 9, 11, and 16. Next slide. So feel free to join us on our various social media handles as it's being displayed right now. If you also want to join, you are welcome to join ADN, go to the website, and to also follow the global campaign. There's also a site already being displayed to join ADN. So I want to thank the organizer once more and help us join hands in trying to raise this awareness to prevent and reduce disaster deaths. Thank you. Okay, Julian.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the introduction, and I'm very excited to get right in into our first session, which will be exploring microplastics. So I want to start off with giving you a background on plastics. Plastic was actually discovered in 1907, and it was called bakelite. So it's a very recent material. It only began mass production in the 50s, but mass production was really reached in the 70s. So how is plastic made? When we think about plastic, we have to really think about petroleum. So we heat petroleum up and it becomes, it turns into these polymers, right? And that is what plastic is these petroleum polymers. However, we have an additional step, and that is additives. So after the petroleum is heated up and creates these polymers, we have these solutions added, these chemicals that give the plastic different strengths and different qualities. Maybe they make it harder, maybe they make it more flexible, and these chemicals are called additives. So when we think about plastic and the issue of plastic, we always have to think twofold: the plastic itself, but also the plastic additives, these chemicals added to the plastic. So then what are microplastics? Well, we used to think that microplastics, that plastic rather, would take, say, 500 years to fully decompose, and then it would just be gone. But that's actually not true. Plastic never really goes away. It just becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. It never goes away. And so that's what microplastics are. You can see that these very small fragments of plastics. Microplastics are 5 millimeters or smaller. And also we have nanoplastics here. And nanoplastics are even smaller than that. And the way we get plastic is actually from the breakdown of, again, plastic. And it happens through time. Obviously, in time, plastic breaks down. It happens through mechanical force, friction, but it also happens through heat and light. So if you have anything made out of plastic, you will find out that the plastic will break down through the light and will start releasing microplastics, and also through the heat, of course. So you can see here, time, mechanical force, friction, heat, and light. These are the things that break down plastic into microplastics. I just want to give you a few examples of how we absorb microplastics. So we can breathe it in. We can actually breathe in microplastics that are in the air because they're so small, they can travel through the air. And we can also ingest them if we're eating food that is contaminated with microplastics, and it can also be absorbed through the skin, which is crazy. So I'll give you a few examples very briefly. If you're heating up your food in one of those plastic containers that you usually use for like lunch at work or school, well, you're actually putting it in a microwave, and the microwave is breaking down the plastic with its heat and radiation. In 3 minutes, it's releasing around 4 million microplastics and 2 billion nanoplastics. Another really big one is tea bags. If you're steeping a tea bag, because the tea bag material is actually very thin plastic, the hot water will break it down. 11 billion microplastics and 3 billion nanoplastics in one cup. A lot of microplastics. Another thing is synthetic bed sheets, if you'll believe it. You're actually releasing with 1 gram of these synthetic bed sheets around 640,000 microplastics and 350,000 nanoplastics. Huge numbers. So we now know that microplastics are everywhere, but why are they bad? Well, as I said earlier, we always have to think plastic polymer and then plastic additive. So the plastic polymer itself, the plastic itself, when it turns into microplastics, it bioaccumulates in our body. And you can see some of the places where it bioaccumulates, right? It gets stuck. It doesn't pass through us. We don't just eliminate it. It gets stuck in our body, in our tissue. You can see it there in the brain, blood. There's a few examples here: placenta, heart, kidneys, gut. And another issue is the nanoplastics themselves. And the difference between microplastics and nanoplastics is that nanoplastics are so small, they're able to penetrate the cell membrane. And actually, they're able to penetrate the blood-brain barrier. So very dangerous. And then we have the plastic additives. So those chemicals added to plastic to give it different qualities, they're actually very toxic. They're things like BPA, phthalates, they're endocrine disruptors, and they particularly impact children. So the plastic additives are very dangerous because they affect hormones, and obviously children are developing and you don't want to impact their hormones, but that's what they do. And the third issue is mismanagement. Most of the plastic that is produced right now is actually single-use plastic. So we have a lot of waste, and most countries in the world don't actually have the ability to manage that amount of waste. So the plastic is not contained very well. We have these illegal landfills, and we just have plastic and microplastics leaking in our soil, in our groundwater, in our rivers, and that is very bad. I'll give you a few examples of health issues around plastic. The president of Earth Day, Kathleen Rogers, actually calls microplastics the biggest gamble in the history of human health. That is huge. And research around microplastics and health is quite recent. It's only around 5 years old. And in these 5 years, we've found so many shocking things. Cognitive health is a huge one. We found that there is actually around 0.5% of our brain's weight in plastic. So 0.5% of our brain is actually plastic right now, which is insane. It's 7 grams of plastic in our brain. And this is correlated with some neurodegenerative diseases. It causes a lot of inflammation in the brain to have so much plastic, dementia, and so on. And with environment, so oceans are really struggling because of the amount of plastic, but especially microplastics, because as we mentioned, the problem with plastic is not just the plastic itself, but the biggest problem is actually when the plastic breaks down into microplastics. So plankton is the most important biogenic factor regulating climate and climate change, and plankton is heavily affected by microplastics. And the population of plankton, the biomass of plankton has actually decreased 40% since the 1950s, which is obviously terrible for our oceans. Soil, the amount of plastics or microplastics in our soil has increased by 15 times, in the last 4 years, which is insane because every day more microplastics, more of the plastic that we already have is breaking down. And because of the amount of plastic that is now in our soil, things like vegetables and fruits have been tested, and broccoli, apples, carrots, they have been found to contain more than 200,000 microplastics per gram. Huge. Food security is also something that microplastics threaten. So they hinder photosynthesis, and this actually means that around 360 million metric tons of food crops are at risk right now, leaving around 400 million people at risk of starvation in the next 20 years, in the next 2 decades. So microplastics heavily decrease the productivity of the soil, which of course is really not good, especially with growing population. We want to be as productive as possible with our soil. And so this is a cycle. You can see we are wasting microplastics, they're going in the water. It's also raining microplastics on our soil. They're entering the marine ecosystem, and it's just becoming a really big problem. So you might think, okay, recycling is surely the solution for plastic. Actually, recycling is not a solution. Plastic is inherently incompatible with circular economy. As we said, the issue with plastic comes from when it starts to break down, when it starts to degrade. And recycled plastic actually releases more microplastics. It's a weaker type of plastic. Not only does it cost more to produce, but it requires new plastic to even exist, and it cannot be used for many applications. It's actually more inflammatory, and it can be a vector for toxins, additives, and heavy metals. So recycled plastic is actually not really the solution. It simply releases more microplastics. Really, the solution here would be staying away from plastic as much as you can, and eventually systematic change for termination. This is a map of global mismanagement of plastic waste. Now, what does that mean? Well, this is basically the amount of illegal landfills in the world and how much plastic we have. You can see there are countries, the countries in the darker purples, they are the countries that are most affected by mismanagement of plastic waste. And you can kind of see that they tend to be mostly in the global south, this accumulation of plastic waste. And this is kind of what it looks like, right? You can just imagine the people walking down the bridge, they're breathing in all that plastic that is being degraded by the heat of the day and the sun. It's also, if it rains, it ends up in the river, in the groundwater. It's contaminating the soil. That is not good. And this is what mismanagement of plastic waste looks like. Now, I will leave you with this. How will your country be affected? We've now looked at the impacts of microplastics, not only on health, but the environment, really, and food security of your country. The top 5 countries with the highest levels of mismanagement of plastic waste are number 1, India, number 2, China, 3, Philippines, Brazil, and Nigeria. You can see now how these countries will be disproportionately affected by really the burden of plastic. And it's really important that we take a step back and think about really the injustice of this, and we look for ways to reduce plastic, not only on a personal consumption, but also with various campaigns and solutions. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you've learned something new about microplastics, and I'm very excited to now lead you on to our amazing speaker, Mr. Panda, who will be introducing the Youth for Water campaign and his efforts around successfully reducing plastic. Thank you. Mr. Panda, feel free.
Thank you, Julia. That's a wonderful introductory presentation, and I'm sure many of the youth participants have learned a lot about the comprehensiveness of microplastic pollution. I think it's raining microplastic everywhere, in a sense, from above and from below. So it's like it's already infected, and we hardly have any regulations on microplastics. We even don't have rules, the pollution control rules at the moment. So I think that's a very important topic for all, and people who are concerned about livelihoods, and the environment, and also to build climate resilience. The Youth for Water India campaign actually started to work in a way to connect youth to nature in 2019. We got initiated on March 25th during a river conference we organized. And the original idea was basically to connect youth to rivers, to natural resources, and build their capacity to conserve nature and also build climate resilience. Then uh, we talked to a lot of youth. We realized that many youth are interested in basically many youth of the current generation are interested in basically two kind of environmental, actions. One, they're very happy to plant saplings, and two, to organize clean off exercises. So a lot of youth groups nowadays are actually doing mostly these two activities, mostly to promote environmental awareness. From that, we thought that whether these are actually real solutions to all the problems we have. Cleaning up without really understanding where even the liter that you have cleaned is going. As you rightly said, we have a lot of landfills. Like everywhere, it's a kind of a landfill. Plastic is out in the open everywhere, and even if in some places the youth clean it off, then it again ends up in some other places of in impacting a river or a water body or a forest. So we thought that we should go into a solution for where actually we can put in reduce the use of single-use plastic. And because our campaign is more oriented to nature and climate conservation, water, so we initiated this initiative called Plastic Free Picnic Challenge. Millions of Indians actually flock the natural places in during November to next year February. That's called the typical picnic season in India. A lot of tourists go to picnic, natural spots in different months also, but during the picnic season, it is like a very sort of a huge, footfall in natural areas, and they basically go and litter the area. They pollute those areas, and then ultimately impacting the local nature, the other species, polluting the water, and basically releasing more microplastics and other contaminants into the nature. So we thought mobilizing youth to initiate an action where we will motivate people to make their picnic parties as green as possible. So that is one initiative that we have thought around plastic. So far, there are other initiatives like Bring Your Own Bag campaign. Susmita will be highlighting, but we are happy that sometimes the governments have also joined, and our outreach has been like almost 0.7 million people so far. Our campaign messages, our awareness programs through the schools, colleges, through radio, television. Uh, but then, uh, as this is a very purely voluntary initiative, and the Youth for Water, actually, India depends on the voluntary contribution of our members. We have like some 40 co-founders. Co-founders are people who actually started the campaign during the River Conference in 2019. Some people are still active, and there are many more organizations who basically extend their logos for some purposes. Some of the partners organize some events with us. Some of the partners basically work as outreach partners, and our main assets are the youth, and we are trying to mobilize them through a lot of initiatives: the Nature's Classroom, the Plastic Free Picnic Challenge, My River, My Responsibility, which also talks about plastic pollution. So kind of we have a lot of innovative initiatives where everybody joins voluntarily, and so far it has been wonderful. I hope we will get and we are very happy that we have joined the ADN, the Avoidable Death Network, and I'm sure together we'll make a lot of difference. Now, Susmita will be able to talk more about the Plastic Free Picnic Challenge and other initiatives. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you, Ranjanji. Thank you. So, hello and welcome to everyone joining today. And I have a limited time to start, but definitely unlimited reasons to make you think. So let's dive straight into the topic. So before, like we start discussing and talk about different campaigns. So what exactly I really like, let's start with some, activity. It will take a few seconds. So I request every audience, whoever who is attending from different parts of the world, please use the chat box and share your responses. Okay, so let's imagine that you are cooking a delicious dish today for your guest. Okay, a special person who's coming to your home, and you are going to cook for them. Please write down the dish name, and you have only 15 minutes to find out the ingredients and to cook for them. Quickly jot down your ingredients in the chat box, what exactly you would like to cook for them within 15 minutes of your time. And okay, quickly, okay, I can see khichdi from India. Okay, so let's
Just
go ahead with
15,
the
15
responses.
minutes or 15 seconds.
15 minutes for the dish, and definitely it's fastest finger fast, so you can use your fingers to give your responses as soon as possible in the chat box. Yeah, so think about an ingredient for 15 minutes and think about the whatever the dish, and please mention. Okay, so here I can see okay, different names I can see. Wow, great. Halwa, okay, pasta, indomie. Okay, so there are different things. I think I am also not sure about those. This is, but it's cool. Fine. So think about the ingredients, okay, which you are going to prepare, and imagine your kitchen where you're going to cook, and imagine the ingredients, the things you are going to use, and just visualize how the scenario of your kitchen when you're going to prepare. So I can see lots of food items from India and Odisha. Great, excellent. So um, fine. So what now question is, my question is, you have already thought and you have visualized your kitchen with the ingredients. Now, I would like to share my screen where it will help you to, guess. So now you need to find out your secret recipe, something which is special about your this, which is your going to use it. So everyone is thinking about their recipe ingredients, and they have already mentioned, and I can see number of responses. Thank you everyone for your responses. Now think about one recipe which you think, just a minute. My screen is visible, correct?
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah, correct. So fine. So what exactly my question is, so think about the secret recipe which you think it's more important for you, or you can also give your response in the chat box. Sorry. So I'm not able to see the screen. Okay, yeah, here it is. Fine. Okay, water. Okay, anything else? Quickly, because we have limited time. Respect the time, we need to quickly jump into the discussion. Yeah, correct. So any other ingredients which is secret in your rice, vegetables? Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, love, right? Definitely, you need to add, care and love into this tomato. Okay, fine. Anything else? Great. Okay, fine. So once you have visualized the kitchen, I think might have something similar. You have visualized the scenario of your kitchen. One thing you must have not thought about it, that is one secret ingredient which we are talking about today, which is already, I think, discussed, introduced, and someone can relate, but never ever you thought that you are also adding that secret ingredient to your food. Because most of the time, if you'll see the visualization of the kitchen you have already done, let me check my screen. Okay. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, we can see it. Your recipe has a secret slide.
Okay, so fine. There is a little bit technical issue. Sorry for the inconvenience. So can you see the second slide?
Yes.
This is what exactly the background of our kitchen, right? This is the usual day of our life. And we add the secret ingredient. This is our secret ingredient which we use in our recipe, and we have never thought of. We never see it. And this is what exactly we were talking about. Someone, I think Kedarji or someone, they have written a question that how did I think how the microplastic are being created. If I'll talk about the microplastic, see, these are not biodegradable, correct? So if it is not biodegradable, it means it is going to stay for a longer period of time, maybe for 1,000 years or maybe 100 years, I don't know. And for that, they will break down. They will break down, as Julia already mentioned, that they will break down to microplastic, nanoplastics, or maybe invisible. That invisible secret ingredient which we are going to use it in our recipes while we are drinking or maybe having or intaking anything. So that's why the discussion is, why is it so important to understand this scary thing which is the part of our life now, the lifestyle we are having. Like last 3 days I was traveling, and I saw that the government of the railway has provided the food, but 95% stuffs were packed in plastic. This is a fact. We cannot deny, we cannot go against the industry. Okay, we cannot go against the globalization. This is a fact. We need to accept that this is the part of day in day out the life of each and everyone. We are using plastic. And think about the first plastic brush, toothbrush, you people have used it. Somewhere it is chilling, or maybe, like there in any landfill, or maybe in any ocean, or maybe anywhere in the stomach of well. So you cannot say that it is already degraded. So this is the fact which we need to accept it. And the second thing is, what are the things in our hand? Why we are discussing about the plastic issues, and we have started discussing that how is it impacting our health, and how the injustice is happening with us. So let's understand that what are in our hands. I am very practical. I think if I'm going to talk about something, I should start with myself. So that is why when I go speak about anything related to plastic, I always give examples that what are the habits I have made, what are the things we have practiced in our daily lives, which has become a sustainable lifestyle. So this is the first thing I believe, which is important to start. Correct. So let's talk about, because these are the common things, it has been already discussed, so I will not repeat it. So we will quickly jump into the thing which are in our hand, and how we have come up with some ideas. So now let's talk about, I can see different age group of people, people from like teenagers who are having high energy, people I can see from more than 40, 50, those who are having quite experience, wisdom. So what exactly I just want to say right now, everyone has the same problem. It means microplastic. So if we all have the same problem, it means we have the same issue, and we can have some solution, different ways we can tackle with. So right now, what exactly we are doing, we are coming up with some campaigns which are feasible and practical. So what exactly pushed us, or really motivated us to start? So here everyone can relate with one thing, that whenever we get time, we go and roam around in some areas, we do picnics, get together, different events in outdoors. This is a fact. Okay, we love to connect with nature, though we are not taking care of nature, but still we love to connect with the nature. So what we believe, that let's hang around, have some picnic, and do something outside. So there we don't think about what exactly sustainable picnic is, or how should we conduct the picnic. We only think about the event and uh, get together. So there the problem actually, if you will see anywhere in India, especially I belong to Odisha. Here the picnic concept is high, especially when it is month of November to especially January, February. People are rushing, they are rushing towards every picnic spots, and they're doing lots of activities there. And literally, if you'll find, the places are filled with plastics. And that is what the trouble is, when you have keen interest towards nature, and you see your beautiful places are being like recklessly used by people like this, so definitely it will hit you. And there we came up with some ideas, that how can we bring some concept where we can motivate people, and there we changed the okay, we talk about the feasibility, and then we started with the concept birth of plastic free picnic challenge. So let's understand the journey. Actually, we started with 2019, where there was a river conference happened, and there the discussion was happening, and everyone decided, let's start with a small. And with that discussion, we started with March 25th, 2019, and we came up with the river conference flagged off that particular event, and then we launched the plastic free picnic challenge in 2022. So when we started in 2022, there are a couple of organization, NGOs, even youth community, they came into the campaign, and they supported. So what was the exact procedure of plastic free picnic campaign? Okay, this is nothing, it's very simple. So if you are going for a plastic sorry, if you're going for a picnic, so what you need to do is you need to plan it sustainably. And if you are planning it sustainably, we to encourage people, we have come up with some small recognition program, which was supported by Dalma, or local restaurant, a kind of prize for picnic, sustainable picnic parties. So the person who will be presenting a sustainable picnic plan will be awarded with some kind of small cash prizes. So this is the idea we came up with. And along with that, we saw that there are people across world, and in India, Odisha, everyone started accepting this concept. And we started 3 months during the picnic time in 2022. And that is being launched. The mission definitely is to highlight and engage youth, and lead the solution oriented programs. So this was our main objective. And what exactly the connection and network we have created, uh, if we'll talk about the countries in 2022, around 4+ countries across the world, they have connected with us. They shared their views, their responses, they shared their videos and also insights. And also, like in India, 15+ states, they have participated so far. And if we'll talk about the connection network, right now we have 70+ local partners who are working during the campaign. So this is what we have created since 2019 through this plastic free picnic campaign. And the most important thing, in 2023 we have got the support from Odisha government, and they also really liked about the idea, and they supported to scale up this movement. And they also, the Odisha State Pollution Control Board, they organized meeting, and then the task force team created to run this campaign. So this is the basic idea I'm giving. Okay. And the most important thing, we also found some challenges. It is not like that we have not found any challenges. The bigger challenge was the language, and what we believe that there should be no language barrier. So that's why we thought, let's go ahead with their local language, whatever the language is, because the message is simple. And climate action doesn't belong to a particular language. It is everyone's, and everyone can speak about it. So that is why you can see that we have collected responses, feedbacks from different parts of India, Odisha, and also in from different countries. And some examples, what are the activities we are doing, like green picnic hours, which I have already mentioned. This is the completely the social media campaigns overview I have shared. And plastic free picnic challenge is one thing, but with that we also started promoting certain feasible activities related to, as like Pandaji already mentioned that some campaigns related to taking self place, because I have also mentioned it starts with I. So it means, if you are saying, don't say to anyone else, first start with you. So that's why we have started with plastic free picnic place, where people will come up with a place, they will take the place by themselves, and they will post it. And also they will practice the plastic free lifestyle, and they will promote it. And also we have started with bring your own bag concept, because everyone has their bag, and they have their story. Some people, they love to carry their bags, so let's promote it widely, where we thought to again give a recognition, and then we started this campaign. So these are the recent campaigns. And some other activity like classroom, nature's classroom, where youth will come and spend their time with the tribal people, with the the jungle gurus who are providing, or who are the real, we can say the mentors of, or the caretakers of jungle. They can only provide the right information. So keeping that in mind, we have started also nature's classroom for the youth, where they can come and spend time with the community. So these are some activities we are doing, and the most important thing still, the question is same, whether people are here. So before I end this overall discussion, now let's come to the simple thing, what exactly we have right now and what can we do. I think we have people here around 17. So if we'll talk about this 17 people, what are the things we can do? I believe that every day we can reduce our consumption. And if I will calculate my consumption, and how much I have reduced, then I can I can proudly say that I have reduced a lot of things during in this last year. Sorry. So I can calculate tons of plastics I have stopped being dumped into the landfill, because we have adopted the sustainable lifestyle, and we have completely said no to single use of plastic. So everything, whatever the day-to-day life materials we are using, we are trying to prepare it at our end, maximum, whatever it is possible. So now this is what exactly, now let's discuss openly, and I would like to look forward some questions, and uh, I can also take some questions on the things of solution oriented. What are the things we can do? Let's discuss on that. So these are the campaigns ideas, and I will also I would also like to say that, okay, we have a interesting campaign that is called 21 days plastic free picnic, plastic free lifestyle challenge. So adopt this single use of plastic you are not going to use for 21 days. That challenge is also already on. So I would like to also request everyone to participate in that, and also start with the 7 days, and then 15, then 21, you can start like that. So let's open the forum for the discussion. Okay, anyone is having any question, we can go ahead with that, because I hope I'm right at the time, and we can take the questions right now. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes, if you have any questions, please do let us know. I know I saw one from Mr. Kadar earlier, and the question was how microplastics are created and in which process. And as we mentioned, so what breaks microplastics down? So microplastics are plastic that has just been broken down, decomposed. And what breaks plastic down is obviously with time, anything breaks down. We also have mechanical friction. So actually, every time you open a water bottle, you're releasing around 600 microplastics from the lid, because you're creating that friction, right? So the plastic is breaking down and you're releasing microplastics. But the two biggest ones are heat and light. So if you have anything, any object that is made out of plastic or synthetic plastic materials and fibers, the heat and the light will break them down. So if you have, say, a bed sheet, right? A bed sheet or a blanket that is made out of plastic, and you're putting it in the dishwasher, you're washing it with hot water, you're actually releasing microplastics, because that hot water is releasing microplastics. Also, infant feeding bottles, the bottles that little babies drink from, they're usually made out of plastic, and you put hot milk into them. And what happens is that the plastic of the bottle starts to degrade and starts releasing those microplastics. And then light is another reason, right? So if you have anything, a bottle of water, and you leave it in the sun, the light will actually break down the plastic of the bottle, and it will release, the bottle will start releasing these micro pieces of plastic, microplastics. So that is how microplastics are created. Anything that you have that is made out of plastic, light heat, friction, so mechanical forces, and obviously time breaks plastic down. So eventually, now we have so many metric cubes of million of metric tons of plastic, and every day they are degrading. Every single day they're releasing microplastics, and with time we will only have, every day we have more microplastics, because obviously more plastic is decaying. So thank you for that question. And I see.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Very good presentations we saw, we heard. Actually, I am a social worker and I work with the communities. And everything that is that I learn, I always think that how it can be practiced by the communities. So my activities on more on conservation, and in conservation, this plastic also comes in the conserving soil, conserving water, or conserving our no our physique and everything. Plastic comes. So I am interested to, I work predominantly with the women groups in the rural and tribal areas. So my question is whether we have a handy kind of leaflet or something like that, do's and do nots, and how to replace the household level plastic or office level, institutional level. If we have that in local language, I think that will help the people, because as we say that we go for desi. Desi means country made. We don't go for Western things. So they have prepared a kind of no. We can replace this one with this. We can replace this one with this, like that. How to avoid and what to adopt. Like bag is one you told about, the carry your bag campaign or plastic free picnic thing. So I am interested to how at household level we can do every day this 21 days campaign, maybe having something, I don't know much about it. But the thing is that how we at the household and office level, we can audit every day, household level plastic audit. Maybe how much plastic we have adopted and replaced it with natural things. So that kind of knowledge for replacing the thing. So I am interested in that.
Yes, fantastic question. I think
I think
that would be a great idea, and I would love to actually hear some Sita's opinion on this.
So, Kedarji, what I've understood that it's a definitely a very important question, because we can understand the importance of avoiding or reducing. That concern is there, but definitely we don't have sufficient resources, and we need to agree, because this is the reality. What we can do is we can start from small. We can start. Why I have said that, why we have stopped using single use of plastic. So let's take a small example. So if I will start with my breakfast, okay. So or maybe when I'm going for my daily routine, what are the things I can reduce? So this is what we need to decide. It means that can be a toothbrush, that can be even a toothpaste, without because think about the 10 years back or 20 years back, what are the things we were using? Was it really not good? Or maybe what are the alternatives we have right now? Do we have something in terms of eco-friendly tooth powder? Do we have available in the market? Is it affordable to buy? That again the question is. So now everything, I believe there are some options available. If I'll talk about my daily routine, there is no plastic in my morning routine. I have completely reduced that. Second thing, when I talk about my tea, coffee, even near to a shop, they know that what exactly like, and they never offer me with a plastic cup or anything. So now it's again the decision and habit. It has never come with sudden 1 day or 2 days. So it has I have practiced it. So this is first thing. Second thing, uh, now coming to the traveling or the lifestyle we are having. As I mentioned, last 3 days I was traveling. So now I have two options. Either I will carry my own stuff to have, or second thing, I will have whatever is available in during the journey. So it depends on my situation, how I'm preparing myself. Sometimes it is feasible, sometimes it is not. So now again, we need to decide that what we are going to have. So it means having a sustainable lifestyle. It's just a decision and a practice, and it will definitely take a time. So that is why it sounds difficult,
Can
because we have a
I,
limited time. Yeah.
can I also come in?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Kedaravu, that's a very good question. The only thing is that we all of us are accustomed to millions of items. So it's not that it's not so easy to basically tell someone that replace this with this. And we have our own local kind of situations and our practicality. So the other way could be, actually, if we start like the 21 days challenge is, you have to assess your own plastic use per day. Like, and you have to find out what replacement actually you have in your hands, or is available nearby, which you can actually manage. So if we start like that, maybe we have a lot of these options, possible options we may explore from our own surroundings. Like for example, what Julia was now saying, considering the heat and light, Indians are eating like everybody is eating all those packet namkeen and other kind of biscuits in chai shops, in other places. Everywhere they hang out, directly in the sun. So, so that is that those kind of packaging materials are also very, very dangerous, and we all know that. But then we normally prefer that because if we are hungry, we don't have an option always. So, for example, very simple alternatives that we are trying is, there are certain things that you can actually bring in your bag. If you're taking a cotton bag, for example, you can bring the vegetables and all easily. But you are bringing fish, or you are bringing mutton, for example, or chicken, then you start thinking how to bring, because in some items you can also bring with the paper thungas. But for all these a bit of liquid kind of items, if you are convenient, maybe you can have your steel tiffin boxes for them, different sizes. So we are practicing that already. We are trying our best, and we are motivating people to do that. So if you start listing out your own daily requirements by yourself, and then start thinking what you are now using for them, what kind of containers or what kind of utensils and kind of thing, and what is available at the moment, which you can actually buy or afford. In Indian kind of context, the other challenge that we face is also affordability, because many people uh, do not have that financial condition to have so much of different items. It's very easy to get a plastic polythene bag and carry bag and just get things done. So I think we should start thinking in our own situations and try to promote certain aspects which are very generally possible. Maybe some of us can go beyond, some of us might not go beyond. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I just want to add something very quickly, just before we move on. I know Mr. Ashish raised his hand, so I want to get to that. I do agree, Mr. Kadar. I think especially in the kitchen, so that's where you actually get the most of your microplastics from. They're from the kitchen. All the utensils that you use are actually plastic. I actually think it would be a brilliant idea to create maybe a leaflet of very easy swaps. For example, if you use a spatula to cook, right, on the pan, and the spatula is made out of plastic, what you can do is actually use a metal one, maybe even a wooden one. That will help you so much because it will decrease the amount of microplastics. Something that I do as well, because we're not all perfect. If I go to my friends and they're having tea, and they're having tea in those tea bags, what I actually do, I break the tea bag and I just pour the loose leaf tea inside, and I remove the tea bag basically, right? So I don't let the tea bag steep. I just break it down and pour the contents in, and then I steep that one in boiling water. So I'm avoiding as best as I can. We're not perfect. We're not going to be 100% microplastic free. That's very difficult. We're breathing it in every day. But we can, if we make the reductions very easy, very simple to make without too much headache, maybe we can actually decrease a significant amount. So I'd actually love to work with yourself, with Useful Water perhaps, and maybe find out 21 food swaps or just item swaps that we can do to help out. Maybe that could be a helpful idea, but I'll let that to you. And Samsita, is this an answer to this question or a different question? Because there's also Ms. Rashish that wanted to speak. Yes, should we?
I think let Mr. Assis first ask the question. Maybe there is a relation, so then we can
continue the discussion.
Okay, thank you for this, for these three lovely presentations, and for the fact that you've been talking about a subject which is very close to my heart. The point here is that we have been talking at a personal level of plastic use or non-use or whatever it is, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
yes.
can. Fine.
Oh, okay, fine. So, in a large and diverse country like India, with so much diversity in geography, have we ever tried to find out what the best practices are in each region? Say, for example, West Bengal and Odisha, and I've been to Odisha several times. Mr. Kedar knows about this. That Odisha has mountains, Odisha has a huge coastline, Odisha has drought-prone areas, things like that. West Bengal too is similar. We have Darjeeling, we have Digha, we have the Sundarbans. So what is the best practice in each locality? Because there cannot be one size that fits all in a country like India, which is very high up on the plastic pollution list. And also the fact that people have different levels of education and different levels of acceptance. There are very positive local examples that I've seen in the Sundarbans myself. That's number one. Number two, what I wish to bring to your notice is that what about industrial contamination? Because see, I might be doing it. Everyone here will probably be a little more careful and conscious about the kind of plastic we use or the amount of plastic we use in our daily lives after this webinar. But my fear is all of us, because of reasons of convenience, will one use plastic bags when we don't have a suitable bag. And more importantly, is that we are going to order something from Amazon, and everyone knows how much plastic Amazon uses. And Amazon is not the only polluter. You wouldn't believe this, that after, I think, Cyclone Amphan, we were called by the BDO because people in their good faith had come over with lots of relief supplies to the Sundarbans to distribute to the people who were affected. And we had to clear something like 14 tons of plastic, which were left lying around because they were using it to wrap the stuff. This is what I'm trying to talk about. Periodically, I see in my municipality, which is on the outskirts of Calcutta or Kolkata, that the municipality suddenly gets active for about 2 months. They issue warnings and even fine some shopkeepers if they stock plastic or distribute stuff in plastics. But this then goes into a state of limbo. And for the next 2-3 years, it's, free for all as far as plastic packets are concerned. We need to think about the industrial scale of pollution because some of you do know about this great Pacific garbage patch, right? It's huge. It's actually more than two times the size of France, which is actually a very large Western European country. And now, what is even more worrisome is that the same thing is happening in the Atlantic Ocean. This is what I had to say. Thank you.
I think that's very, very interesting, very important. So on the local best practices, something that we are trying in the campaign at the moment is like we are asking youth to find out what kind of green alternatives, in fact, people are already using and what is available. Even the government of Odisha made a circular last year, which also continued this year, is the local self-help groups were asked to provide green alternatives to picnickers. They could. So that is one. The other thing is, the other idea is good, that we could actually start an inventory of, the practices, because this is just how we are trying to engage the youth. In our nature's classroom also, we try to, uh, you know, uh, sort of uh, exploring with the youth on what kind of green alternatives are available. There is something that green entrepreneurship can also be promoted with that. So I think this is a good idea. The other thing is the industrial scale. We are all definitely concerned and fighting. We should do that. That requires a different level of you know a campaign. Also, the plastic conventions and all. So that requires a bit of different level of working together all together, and we should do that. It's not that we should not do that. We are all doing in different ways, so we should join hands in that. But campaigns like these are basically trying to motivate individuals to start taking actions, because the industrial production, for example, industrial pollution, they have been an issue, and they are going to be not resolved the way we want, and within the time frame. But individually, we start asking youth and other people to take at least some minimum actions, a lot of difference can be made. But both the ideas are good. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your great answer. Are there any more answers? Maybe someone else that wants to add? Samsita, would you like to add anything?
Sure. I was just I was about to just answer Ashish. She has pointed out a very good thing. See, this is what exactly we all are trying to work on, because if we'll talk about the governance part, definitely recently we have got the information that more than 800 crores the budget was sanctioned, but only 1% of the budget has been utilized for reducing the pollution. And also, this is the scenario, the challenges we have. So when we talk about the lack of governance, definitely that is hindered in this particular initiatives, or maybe the importance of avoiding single use of plastic, or the market has been actually created like this. So the consumption, the advertisement industry, everything they want actually you buy plastic. So this is a fact. We cannot avoid this fact. So it means if you are traveling, if you are reading, you are studying, you are eating, whatever you are doing, everything is there. Like the phone you are using, every time you are popping with anything, it's built with plastic. So you cannot avoid plastic right now. So the thing is that we can reduce. So to fight with government, to fight with the broader agency is not our capacity. It is not in our capacity. So what it is in our capacity. The youth has the power to research. The people like us, like who has experience, has the capacity to ask question in the right forum, to drive campaigns, to make more people aware. For example, you were talking about your area, they have campaign for 15 days, and then they stopped doing it. I'll talk about my area. Recently, when I just came to last year, in this area there was no municipality people coming to get the waste materials, because that is not a part of municipal area. So what exactly the local people they did is uh, going to the governance part, they are asking, requesting, and now it is coming. So this is what exactly in our hand, and that is why we need more this kind of programs, more involvement of everyone. Like that's why I mentioned 17 people, 17 quintals we can reduce if we can practice our 21-day challenge, or maybe every day we can reduce at least a single wrapper from our life. So this is what exactly we require. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. And I do want to add just something very, very brief. Don't go yet, because we need to do the post poll. But I look at plastic policy quite a lot, and I think you might be familiar with the UN Plastic Treaty, right? So the UN now is coming together with all these countries, and they're discussing what they want to do with the plastic crisis, really. But ultimately, you know, it's all about educating the public. Most people don't know that much about it. Maybe, you know, you're here on this a webinar, so you find it more interesting, but most people don't really know. So education is actually, and raising awareness is actually a really important tool for the individual to decrease their own plastic consumption. And of course, advocacy is part of that. So making sure, putting kind of pressure, I guess, slightly on you know, legislative bodies, so that they know that, hey, this is a concern for consumers, this is a concern for citizens, and it's something that must be addressed. But ultimately, you know, all these actions, I believe, the fantastic campaign of Youth for Water is really creating that pressure, and it's creating that change. So if we can multiply this, if campaigns such as these were available in every city, well, that would be really powerful, because you can see the impact that they've made and the relationships that they've created with their own local government. Well, that seems like it would be particularly powerful to do on a global scale. So that's also why we're having these events and these amazing speakers. I don't know if anyone else wants to have a little questions. Just before that, I want to put the post poll up. So post poll plastic session. So this is just one question, and it's going to ask you if you've gained any more information on this than maybe before. So how much did you know about microplastics before, and how much do you know now? So do you feel you're very confident? Do you feel you're just more confident than you were before on microplastics? I'd love to know. And be very helpful, because of course we want to give you the best information that is available and the best research. So it'd be really great to hear. So just waiting for a few more questions, sorry, a few more replies. And if you have any more questions, you can put them in the chat. However, we'll be going in just a few minutes, because we've gone a bit over time. The 53% of participants have replied. If anyone else would like to just reply to how confident they feel in their knowledge of microplastics now, if they've learned more about microplastics. 69%, just maybe a few more people, if possible. If anyone else would like to answer the post poll. I see. I don't know why it wouldn't let you answer. Can everyone answer? The majority of people have. Okay, I think someone else has answered. There's one more person that we need if you get a chance. If not, that's understandable, don't worry. Okay, so we'll end the poll right here. So I'm very glad to hear that actually the majority of you feel confident, at least moderately or very confident. It's very exciting to see this. So you can see them right here. These are the results. And this was very exciting. If you have any more questions, please put them in the chat, but we will be going very soon. So if you have any more questions, you can connect with the Youth for Water organizations and a campaign and the DSS Odisha, and also the Avoidable Deaths Network. You find us on our socials. And yeah, absolutely, continuous awareness campaign and education should be sustained. And you have the email in the chat of Youth for Water, the Youth for Water campaign, if you're interested, and you can find us at the Avoidable Deaths Network on Google practically. So yeah, thank you so much for joining to everyone. I'll stop sharing now. And it was really great having you here, and I'm really glad you joined us in diving deep into microplastics. So thank you so much for your time, and yeah, thank you so much. Bye to all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Take care, all of
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.